He's like,
No.
I hate it here. I wasn't in there.
It's not great.
You lose your phone down there?
I have my keys.
Woo! See? Prime example why I tell people get cards.
Me and my God always conversating. He say I'm happy you called, what you been up to lately.
Yo, what's up, y'all? And welcome to Life in Plumbing. We are back with another special guest, man. One of my apprentices that I've just got the pleasure of meeting. And man, dude is on top of his stuff, and that's why I asked him to come and do this show, because man, this is mainly for apprentices, and this dude is the epitome of what apprentices are and what they do on a regular basis. So man, there's no better way, you know what I mean, to let you guys know how apprentices get down than to bring an apprentice on. So let's talk about plumbing with Anthony Roberts. All right, here we go. All right, what's up, Anthony?
Man, you make me feel good about myself.
Hey, you should, dog. You be getting down. You be getting down, dog.
Thanks,
they don't even know. They don't even know.
They will.
And I hope you know before. When I do this video, I'm gonna show. You remember how you was under the ground? How you got to get down underneath there, man? And it was what? Maybe 9 inches? Maybe 8?
Maybe.
8?
My nose was touching. If I look straight up, my nose was touching.
Yeah. It was tough. You know what I mean? It was easy for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably a little tougher for you.
Well, I mean, even the job, it's not that bad. It's just having to get stuck under there to do any work was the worst part.
All right, so Anthony, let's get straight up in these questions. What led you to pursue a career in plumbing?
Honestly, it wasn't a conscious choice, if that made sense. I was in the restaurant industry for 5, almost 6 years.
That's right.
And my girlfriend at the time, her parents were getting a water heater done in their house, and the guy was just chatting them up or whatever, and was saying, "Hey, you know, what's a trade you'd recommend for somebody, you know, that's not going to go to school maybe or whatever, you know, and they can make a good wage." Okay. He had 2 kids in high school, you know, and they weren't really big on school, so he was kind of, for him, it was like trying to plan for his kids.
Yeah.
But he was talking to him about it and everything. He's like, "Oh, you know, like how old, you know, can somebody be?" He's like, "Any age."
Yeah.
You know, so he ended up
Was it getting into plumbing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he ended up giving him my information.
Okay.
To the guy that came out and did the water heater. He dropped it off at a supply house, and then the company I'm with right now, the owner called me in 2 days, I think.
Sheesh, and you got in.
Yeah.
I was waiting for 4 months, but you got right up in there, huh? Hey, you got to know people.
You got to get lucky sometimes.
That's what's up. So you didn't know anything about plumbing ahead of time, or I never even thought about it, right?
Nah, I just know when you turn the water on, it works.
That's it, huh? Hey, most of us, that's how we started, right? So what year are you right now?
Second year. Second year apprentice.
Sheesh, so you got right up in there. And how do you like it so far?
It's good. The work itself is something I really enjoy. A lot of people, they'll kind of get sentimental about it sometimes, you know, because your job as a plumber is to protect people. You know, keep the sewage out of their water supply and all that stuff. So I mean, like, that's the biggest thing about it, but just it's fun. It's like we were talking about it today. It's like just making stuff look straight, making stuff look good, and know it's gonna work.
Craftsman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what caught my attention about you, because you were interested in doing a good job, not just, you know, just there. Some people are just there for the money, and that's how I started off. I was there for the money, but then, you know, man, just taking pride in what we do, it just feels good, right? And it makes the day go by. Right?
Definitely.
A lot better, man, a lot better. And, you know, people want to see that. You know what I'm saying? They want to see their work be done straight, so.
Well, and I think a big part of it is if you think about how it's going to look in your house, or how you would want somebody to do the work when it matters to you.
Yeah, exactly. Give them that,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. All right, cool. All right, so now I'm going to bounce to this question. What are some of the common issues that you encounter as an apprentice plumber?
Well, it kind of depends on who you're working with.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about with this, but depending on the foreman you got, they're just going to want you to do all the grunt work, you know, get all the tools down, get all the material down, lay everything.
Get underneath the building, even though you can't fit a little bit.
Exactly.
Make it happen.
And then complain about you complaining about the work. And it's like, you got to give me a little bit. But I don't know. It's I think people give the biggest issue.
100%.
And if it's not somebody you're working with directly, it's somebody in a different trade, you know, because I mean, like, it's not competition, but sometimes things will get a little tense between different trades. You know, if we're all trying to work next to each other in a certain wall or something, you kind of got to navigate all that.
Exactly. And how do you navigate it? I know how you do it, but let me see what you tell them.
I'm pretty cool. I mean, by the time it comes to a point where it would be an issue, I've already been talking to people and everything, so I can just be like, hey, I got to put a pipe here. It's going to be the easiest way for me to do it. You know, can you move your conduit over? Or, you know, is this going to be in your way?
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times people are like, yeah, sure, no worries, man.
See, strategic. This is what I noticed about him. And we just met, maybe a month ago, right?
Yeah.
So I noticed that he'll walk in the building and everybody knows him by name. Like yesterday, the dude called you by name. I was like, I didn't even know he knew your name. He was like, hey, where's Anthony at? I was like, oh, he knows him. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even know. But yes, that's one of the things about you and how you're strategic and how you approach being an apprentice is, man, you're just out there with everybody, and not just your company, but other trades as well. Because the most important thing is us getting along, because we all have to work together. You know what I mean? How do you balance work and personal life as a plumber apprentice?
I mean, as far as an apprentice goes, you know, my responsibilities are pretty low. I go to school 2 weeks every 6 months.
Yeah.
And then put my 40 in.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, me as a person, I'll think about my jobs a little bit more. You know, if something's been giving me trouble, I'll take it home or whatever and think about it. But for the most part, it's 8 and skate. Is that what they say?
Exactly. 8 and skate, easy, right?
I think a big part of it for me on a personal level is not doing too much.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely the type of person that will take stuff home.
Yeah.
But as an apprentice, it's better to kind of just sit back and stay out of the way almost.
And then wait for the next day to, you know what I mean, one day at a time.
Because I'm not in charge.
Yeah.
So if I'm not in charge, it's not worth stressing myself out over something that may or may not matter.
Tomorrow has its own problems.
Exactly.
I got you. I think I remember it now. So, man, have you ever did service plumbing? Probably not. This is your first company, right?
For friends. That's it, though.
I got you. So when it comes to like work life and balance life, I think I love commercial because we are like 6 to 2:30 or to 3. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. And man, I did service for a little bit, and I hated, like, it's nice not to have to wake up so early, but I mean to come home late every day. It's like you just spend your whole day at work. That's one thing that I didn't like about it. So could you imagine that? Like,
I could. I mean, working in the restaurant. I know I talked to you a little bit about it, but I was working 12, 14-hour days.
I forgot about that.
So I mean, I would come in at 8, 10 a.m. And then I wouldn't leave until midnight.
So how'd you handle that?
I just worked. That was it. My life, my life was work. Stuff at home wasn't all that great. Rocky relationship.
So you was cool with
all that kind of stuff.
Like
so for me, it was kind of like I was the only like earner in that relationship too. So for me, it was kind of just like I had to be there. No matter what happened, like I needed to be at work, getting as many hours as I could. So the balance was kind of like
more work, huh?
Yeah.
So I got you. I guess it's a good question for you. How do you handle like troubleshooting and when we got to figure stuff out? Because actually you always do that. You know what I mean? Especially because you don't want him to find out. Like you can't, something that you have to ask him for. So I see you always trying to figure it out yourself before it goes to him. So
for me, especially if it's something I put my hands on, I want to know before anybody else does if something's wrong. For the most part, I'm pretty confident in what I do. Cast iron is pretty much the only thing that gives me any sort of worry, but that's just because those bands, man.
I got you.
9 out of 10.
Cast iron out of all things, huh? Okay.
9 out of 10 times is fine, but for me, no matter what happens, every time I work on a cast system, it leaks somewhere.
What?
Every
That's
time.
crazy. You torque everything?
Everything. Every time.
Okay.
You can ask anybody we work with too. I'm in there. But for me, it's just kind of, you already kind of know what's going to be the issue. So kind of being prepared for it. So if you're, filling up a waste stack and it's cast iron, have your torque wrench with you, have your impact with you.
For sure. Would you suggest for other apprentices to trust their impact when they're torquing down those bands?
No. Definitely not.
Always have a torque, right?
Yeah. Because my thing is a lot of people will tell you don't need a torque wrench. But the number of bands that I've seen people break, and the number of times I've seen something leak because they didn't use a torque wrench, just
it's not worth it, right?
Get it close and then just.
Especially for an apprentice, because if it's your leak, they're gonna be on your head. You already know, right?
It's not gonna be good for you.
You better have all your ducks in order because they're gonna be on you. The foreman or journeyman, they'll mess up all day long, but you better not mess up, right?
Yeah, and
I got you.
it's a little different too because I haven't really had to work with completed systems. So if a water heater's not working, like I haven't had to replace like an anode rod. Like
yes.
I don't do electrical or anything like
So
that.
that would be like the service side. I was new to that too, man.
Yeah.
I was just like, it was foreign to me.
For me, it's like as long as we hook it up, you know, and it doesn't leak air, it doesn't leak water.
Exactly. When we install it, and after that, it's hey, you guys figure that out with that warranty. What challenges have you faced as an apprentice plumber, and how did you overcome them?
I think that we already touched on it a little bit, but the biggest challenge is and always will be the people you work with.
Yeah.
You know, the work is, I wouldn't say easy. It's not complex for the most part. Like you can only do things a certain way. Like everybody will say there's 1,000 ways to plumb, but like you can only put the joint together one way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got both ends have to go in the place.
Exactly. I got you. I know that.
You know, so it's like that part's not that difficult, but it's just navigating all the relationships because people are different.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll get some people that like to talk to each other like you and I, and you'll get some people that just don't want to talk at all when they're on a job site. And it's like being able to mesh with all those people. That's the hard part. For me, it's easy. I've been in either customer service or you know some sort of like people first.
Oh, that's right. So
organization,
skills, especially in that.
Yeah. So customer service, food service, you know, hospitality, retail. You know, if you have a background on all of that, you'll be able to navigate all of that stuff a lot easier.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people, you know, it's like. It's tough. You get people from all walks of life, and some people can't handle the way you talk to them sometimes. And you know, if you get someone like me, 9 out of 10 times they're soft. You know, so if you start dogging on them or being hard on them because they're messing stuff up, they're not going to take it well.
Exactly. And it's unfortunate especially for apprentices. So because you know they're new to it, and like I said, like when we were talking about you being a manager in a restaurant, like. They're gonna blame you all the time. Their food is this or this. Like I can see, you know what I mean, how many times I've been around people who just blame them, and you're that person. You know what I mean? So
my food's cold, everything. Bro.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So you already had a little bit of that. So for an apprentice just getting into the game, what would you tell them? Like, man, I'm like, okay, so I have to worry about dealing with people, and I don't know if I can handle certain people talking to me a certain way.
Yeah, I take everything with a grain of salt. A lot of people want to help you. There are some people that don't. A lot of these people are old too. There aren't a lot of young people in the trades. So these people have only learned how to talk one way to people. So you kind of just have to realize like they've been doing it so long. They want to teach you. They want their job to go better. But you kind of have to take your own ego out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's hard sometimes because people are mean, and you know they'll get on you for stuff that you don't think is important. I know that happens to me all the time.
Should happen to me. Yeah.
So you kind of just have to take it, especially as an apprentice. You got to take your lumps as an apprentice because everybody's going to assume you don't know anything. Everybody's going to assume that you know you're lazy, you slack off, you know, you're not ready to do anything on your own. Whether or not that's true, I mean, that's kind of up to the person. But
and what if they do know something? What if the apprentice is like, man, I do know stuff.
Hey, so I know a lot of stuff. Trust me, but I keep my mouth shut a lot.
Exactly, man, because you got to have that chain, and if you disrupt it, it's going to be bad for you, right?
Well, because sometimes too, and I run into this a lot because I try and overthink things. Or at least I try and think ahead. Your foreman, sometimes they've already got what they want in their head, and sometimes it's just better to just go with it. There might be a better way, there might be an easier way, there might be a faster way, but sometimes it's better to just that's the way you want it. Just
and after they're done with it, then probably you want to bring it to them. Like, hey, could we have did it this way? And then but let them not during the work though, right?
Even then, 9 out of 10 times, at least in my experience, the foreman, as soon as we run it a certain way, we could have done it like this. It would have been easier. And even if you already thought about it, don't just let it go. Just let it go.
Save that for when you run your own company. You guys got it, right? All right. Do you have any techniques or tips for apprentices out there?
One I've struggled with, and I know I've struggled with for a long time, and one that you've helped me with a lot since we met each other is just heat control, especially when you're soldering.
Oh, solder, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just not putting too much heat on a fitting or a pipe and taking it away when it doesn't need to be on there, and just kind of trusting it and being like clean with it. that's something I'd look into a lot more and just kind of being conscious with. It's hard to practice because copper is expensive and you're not going to sit there at home.
Yeah, I see you already. You got it right after that. Like that was like the main issue because I was working with another guy at another company, and that was his main problem, that he was just holding the heat on it while you're doing it. It's like it's dripping. But if you were to take that away, that's the first way I was taught. A guy told me he was doing this, and he was just like, shh. I was like, dang, that was clean. It just went straight around. After that, like that's how I did it. So
that's a big one. I think just having the right tools.
Yes.
You know, your torque wrenches. It sounds stupid.
Yeah.
You know, but having your torque wrenches, you know, having, you know, the right drills, the right impact, all that kind of stuff. Like it'll make your job easier in the long run.
Heck
levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been borrowing your level for
I can't wait till you get a level. I can't wait till you get a level. Yeah, tell them they need a level. I can't wait till you get yours.
You need a level. You need at least 2.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just a northern thing, man. When I came out here, that's what, when I did the first job that I did out here, they didn't have a level. I was like, man, that's the first thing you're gonna need. Like, we're about to be plumbing this pipe, and it's like, it's crazy.
My problem is I'm Home Depot for a lot of these guys because they just know I'll buy it. So I got in the habit early of just buying everything.
Yeah.
You know, something will go missing, somebody take it.
So you had it, and it was just like one of those things. Yeah, I got you.
But now it's like after a year of all that, I'm like, I'm gonna buy one, and then I'm just gonna let it skate until I just can't handle it anymore because I'm tired of buying all this stuff.
I get you. How has being an apprentice plumber impacted your personal growth and development?
I think having to be responsible for a building, for somebody's house.
Right.
You know, it comes with a little bit more gravity to it than anything else because, you know, working in a restaurant, you mess up somebody's food, you're just going to make them a new one and they're going to go on their way.
Right.
You know, but if you do something incorrectly, you could destroy someone's house, you could flood a building, you know, fire could happen, you know, and that's ultimately going to be on you or your company, and that's a hard one, having to take it a little more seriously because it actually does matter. Yeah,
for sure. I was gonna say about that, like this company specifically, do you guys have like a lot of floods or more like fire situations?
Floods for sure.
Yeah? Oh, okay, because since I got here with you guys, all I kept hearing about the stories about the fires and stuff.
It's just the one apprentice. It was just the one apprentice.
I don't think they got any stories about fire, but always it's somebody's always flooding something like.
Yeah, I put a half inch of water on a school floor.
Oh shit! I think I've done that before. Yeah.
Lance, you met him. He flooded a hotel lobby.
Oh shit! I know a homie that did that. Yep.
I know there are a couple. Most of them happened outside.
Was it active? The hotel lobby?
Oh yeah.
Oh, and it was active.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. Oh man.
I think it was a casino actually. So I mean, they were real busy.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So you guys were like an emergency. Everybody had to run out there and do that, or?
Yeah, it was. Jeez. Well, I think there were already 8 people on site, so they shut all the water down. They got a shark bite on there, and then they were trying to get it all put together. Luckily, we had a Pro Press gun.
Oh yeah, I love the Pro Press for that, especially for that reason. Yeah.
I think a big part is, at least I didn't need this, but I see it from a lot of people, is being able to work with others. Like that's a huge thing, and a lot of people aren't good at it.
For sure.
And it's a field where you can be kind of solitary.
For sure.
But having to learn those social skills and their interpersonal skills is something that is only going to make you and like your work life better. Yeah. So I know a lot of people learn that working in trades.
Heck yeah. And it's all about teamwork and just with life. That's what I'm learning. I'm like, man, so many people want to just step on other people to get ahead, but man, when you build the team, it's so much easier. Like, man, just how we have our little system together with the firm we're working with now. It's just, I love how there's a teamwork. You know what I'm saying? There's trust and there's a teamwork, and it flows, and we're like beating deadlines. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in a major way.
Well, and even then it goes to show how important stuff like that is too, because the main way anybody gets any side work is from the relationships they develop on the site.
Exactly.
A general contractor will come up, hey, I have this one small project, I don't want to hire a whole company, but for one guy, maybe 2 guys, if you know somebody, like, well, you want to come over and tackle this for us. Like, that's just kind of how it goes, and you'll run into it too, where an electrician will say, hey, there's I'm doing this remodel for a bathroom or something, and there's this one plumbing problem I can't get across. Like, you want to help me out with it? And it's just, yeah, sure, no problem.
Exactly. See, and that's so opportunities. You know what I mean? Being kind out there. You know what I'm saying? Talking to everybody. I still have. I talk. When people talk to me, I'm not the one that, like, you know what I mean, engages too much. But I gotta get to that. I'm just not there yet.
But you see me, I'm bored a lot. I'm an apprentice, so I'm bored. So I gotta do something to pass the time.
All right, man. So that was Anthony. I hope you guys got a lot from that, man. Just talking to you, I got even more from that. You know what I mean? I talk to you at work all the time. But stuff like this and coming together like this, man, it's just dope. Especially because we're using what we know and what we do to help others. And, you know, like you said, there's not a lot of youth people or young people in the trade. It's like, you know, the older guys, and then they're on their way out. You know what I'm saying? So we can start this whole new community of plumbers and people who work together and who think, you know, teamwork, you know what I'm saying, and want to, you know what I'm saying, progress in plumbing. So
just keep at it, you know, especially if you're young. It's a good field to get into. Just
straight out of high school, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, if school is not for you, you can do a lot worse things being a plumber.
Heck yeah.
It's hard work. A lot of times you're gonna get wet. You're gonna touch some nasty stuff, but just. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse.
So did I.
It's not that.
It's not that bad.
All right, man. So this is Life in Plumbing. We're gonna see you guys on the next one. Peace.